Hey, look out. It's Faith Talk Live. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
I remember a month ago, 2 months ago, we talked to Dr. Gary Layne and we said, hey, it would be great if we could talk to you live from Greece. And look, he made it happen. Dr. Gary Layne from Functional Christianity, live and well in Greece. How's it going, Doc?
I'm great. We are alive. We are well. Believe it or not, I was sick for the first 8 or 9 days. I think Satan was attacking my body. I haven't had a bout of vertigo and sickness in over 2 years, and I
Wow.
literally got off the plane and got to the airport here in Samos and was sick as a dog for 4 or 5
Oh,
days, and then took about 3 or 4 more after that to get rid of it. But everything is great. Everything is really good and crazy.
good. Now, is everything really greasy there in Greece? Is that, or do they all walk around
Oh,
singing "You're the one that I want"?
yeah. No, I think that's a different. I think that's a different
Oh,
kind.
different Greece.
Uh,
Okay, I got you.
yeah, and there's the mainland Greece, which has got Athens and all the excitement there of the Colosseum, not the Colosseum, the stuff that's in Athens that Paul went to, the Agora and
Yeah.
Yeah.
the Parthenon and
Yeah.
all that. And so I got a chance to see all of that, and that's the mainland. Then there's a bunch of islands, and so this is one of the they call it the greenest island, Samos. It's the closest island to the country of Turkey. It
Uh-huh.
took us an hour by boat ride to get to Turkey, and we got a chance to go up to Ephesus and see the city there, and see
Wow.
where John was from and where Paul, taught and left Timothy and Silas there. So lots of exciting biblical things. In fact, the Bible talks in I think Acts chapter 20 about Paul either stopped or stayed in Samos. This is the island here, and on one of his missionary journeys, maybe his third one.
Wow, that's
So
cool.
this
Yeah.
is
How
this
cool.
is cool.
How cool is that? Now, we've heard people say when they go to Israel and they walk through the streets, Bethlehem, Jerusalem, wherever, that the Bible comes alive. I would think it's probably the same vibe, same feeling when you go to those places. It's not as marketed though, is it?
Some is, but yeah, there's tours you can take, the footsteps of Paul, and I was thinking about maybe putting a tour together of that. I've got a tour hopefully next year into Israel because it does come alive for you. It was fascinating to stand on Mars Hill,
Hmm.
the very place that Paul talked to the philosophers, the Stoics. He quoted some of the ancient philosophers in Acts chapter, I think it was 19 or 17, 18, 19, right around there. To think, wow, Paul stood somewhere right around here. He saw these buildings that I'm seeing right now. He walked on these streets, the agora or the marketplace or the speaking areas, kind of like these big common areas, and they would have little shops maybe down either side, but there would be an open place, and there was a town hall, and to just think that Paul wandered around these streets sharing Jesus with the Jews and of course the Gentiles, the Greeks and the Romans at that time was just, I mean, I'm there. I'm in the very
Mm.
spot. I can see the things he saw. So it's crazy cool.
So, talk about the work that you guys are doing there. You're working with some refugees, and I think are you training pastors as well? What all are you doing there?
Yeah. So there's sort of like an unknown thing is there are refugee camps paid for by the EU that
Hmm.
houses refugees that are trying to get into Europe from other countries. And so on the island of Samos is a camp that holds about 5,000 refugees. I'm not allowed to go in the camp. I'm not supposed to take pictures of the camp, but I have. And so it's a very interesting scenario. So if they have passed all their background checks and they've gone through their 3 week quarantine for diseases and things, then they get a card which allows them to come to town. And so what the ministry here does is they pay for their bus ride in and they pay for their bus ride back. It's about $3.50 round trip for each individual. And so then they have a place called the Hope House, and the idea is we're just providing them some hope, some safety. I'm doing some work in trauma in the area of just trying to get their minds calmed down, trying to get their trying to get their amygdala and their brain just to sort of calm down a little bit because they're so into fight or flight mode. So to share Jesus is awesome, but my first step is to get them to calm down. And so we have some meditation time, and we pray through that, and then I play some great Christian music with awesome words in English. Some of them understand them, and some of them don't understand them. And so we're sharing Christ through the physical needs of water and Wi-Fi. They don't have a lot of phones, and they don't have internet, and they can't even connect with people in their home countries until they come to the Hope Center. So just the Hope House, and they get internet for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and we give them some time to just work on the internet, and then we shut that down, and then we share Jesus, a meal, some water. Oh man, it breaks your heart. We met with some Arab. There's a whole group of Arabs from Syria, from the Gaza Strip. There's Africans from Sierra Leone, Ghana, different countries. But we met an Arab couple, and wow, she had just had a baby 2 weeks ago, and literally had been carrying the baby for 2 weeks. Nowhere to put the baby, no way to get anything to help put the baby in. They're not having a baby shower. They're not getting gifts. They're not registering at Target, Walmart. They have nothing. And so Alice and I just felt for them. And so our church had given us some money. And so we went to the only store on the island and said, do you have any baby, carriages? They said, we have a black one and a tan one. So we took the tan one and bought that and gave that to her. Just the need here is unbelievable. So they have physical needs and they have spiritual needs. So I'm getting to preach and teach twice a week. I've met with some missionaries who've gone through some struggles being here, meeting some more missionaries next Monday to work with them. So I'm meeting as many people as I can and sharing hope and some encouragement to those that are working here.
Wow.
Dr. Gary Layne with us. Functional Christianity is in Greece, the island of, I think he said Samos, didn't he?
Samos. Yes.
Samos. The island there. And in the background, every now and then, you can hear a car beep, probably the fan club, the Gary Layne fan club, getting ready to meet
Dr. Gary!
right after this interview. Hey, Doc, what an amazing place that God has put you in to minister to all these people. I know it's not just you. There's a team there. What happens to them after you're gone? Is there a way for them to be taken care of? What do they walk away with? I mean, has that been figured out, or?
No, it's not figured out, because we meet people who've been here for 3 years and not been able to get out of the camp. And then we met people who have been here 3 months and are leaving the camp. So really, it's not been figured out. But Waymaker International are some friends of mine who are here on the front lines, and they got a property and they got a building, and we're cooking food and we're buying pizzas. I bought $350 worth of pizza last Sunday to feed about 100 people. Everybody got a couple slices. That's the best meal they'd had in a few days. So we're, I'm concentrating on helping the workers here sort of formulate a plan. What does their plan look like? What God called them to? There's so many different ministries. There's some E3 folks here. There's some Youth with a Mission YWAMers here. There's some Jehovah's Witness I met on the street. There's all kinds of denominations. But the Hope House really is the only one that's trying to meet some of the physical needs and some of the trauma needs, which is some safety, some calming presence. And that's not easy when they fight amongst themselves, something fierce. It's like a bunch of 5-year-old kids in adult male bodies. And it's just so hard to calm them down. So we spend some time just trying to relax them, let them know they're safe, let them know that God cares for them. And my prayer is that the ones that are from a different nationality, ones that are different religions, tons of Muslims here, that God speaks to them. God speaks to Islamic people, Muslims, a lot of times through dreams. And so I'm trying to share with them how much my God cares for them, that they're a human, that they're being seen, they're being taken seriously as a person, and my God cares about them, and that's why I'm here, and that's why all my other friends from America are here. And we just pray that God does something with those results. That's His job. Results are His job.
Hmm. Now, are these folks, did they choose to go to Greece? Did they just end up there because that's where the EU sent them, or what's the deal?
Yeah, there's a lot going on with that. I talked with one man. They started out with 10. He's the only one that lived. If you're coming from the Syria, you kind of walk through Turkey to get to the coast, and then it's maybe a mile and a half swim across the ocean from
Wow.
Turkey to Samos. Then you have to hide, because if the Coast Guard finds you, they're not always sympathetic to your cause, and they send you back. So there's been reports of different struggles, but if you can get to the camp, they'll let you in. But it's not an easy thing. Sierra Leone is having a huge crisis right now. So there are people leaving there like crazy. Some of them have money, and they're, I met an engineer. I met a guy who has 3 degrees, but his country's just in shambles, and they're trying to get away for something better. So we're trying to share Christ and all of that.
Dr.
If they can get to the camp.
Dr. Gary Layne with us, Functional Christianity, live there in Greece, ministering to refugees. He and the folks from, you said Waymakers?
Waymaker International.
Waymaker International. What about, we'd love for you to stay for a few more minutes for another segment, Doc. Is it just adults, or are there kids? Oh, I guess you did say that there was a couple that had a kid, or there's kids as well then.
Yeah, Allison collected 100 pounds worth of supplies for ladies, little cosmetics. They had Ladies' Day, and all the ladies came to that, and were just thrilled to get a little powder, a little lip gloss, a little eyeliner. I don't know, all that girl stuff. So she had that, and then we had a bunch of stuff for kids: crayons, coloring books, pens, pencils, stuff they just don't have. I mean, they're struggling to eat food and stay alive. So these are, a coloring book and crayons is like worth gold to them. So yeah, there's families. There's a lot of families. Some are allowed to come out of the camp. Some aren't even allowed to come out of the camp because they don't clear the required background checks and things to get out. So the ones that do get out, we try to give them encouragement to take back to those that are trapped in the camp. But yeah, families with kids, babies. The oldest child I've seen is 6 or 7, maybe.
Now, you kind of touched on this earlier, but you said some of them have been in the camp for 6 months, some have been there for 3 months. So where do they go from there? Do they get integrated into society there in Greece, or do they go somewhere else?
Yeah, no, no, they don't. I'm trying to be polite. No, they don't want them here.
I got you.
So the goal, again, the European Union is in charge of this. The goal for the European Union is to assimilate them in a way. They're teaching them to read and write. Some of them can't read and write. I mean, they've grown up in the backwoods or the parts of Syria that weren't, there's no education available for women, for children. So they're trying to teach them to read and write a little bit. And then the goal of the European Union is to send them to a country that will accept them with $100 and a bus pass. And then it's kind of like, hey, hope you can find some like-minded people, or maybe some people that you met in camp before that would take you in and show you the ropes around this country. So Germany takes them. Austria will take some of them. I think some of them are trying to get up to Belgium, but they don't like that idea because it's cold, and they're from Syria, so they don't like cold.
Yeah.
So, but that's the goal. It's a slow process, and again, every country is like, we can't take anymore, and so it's hard. The Greeks are here, and some of them would love to stay here, but there's not enough jobs for all the Greek citizens who live on the island. So they're like, if you're an international person, you come second or third for a chance at a job here. You're not first in line. Yeah. And of course, you don't speak the language, so you don't know the culture. It's really difficult. So it's
I had heard a few years ago there was they did a special interview with a documentary about Greece and the current situation. Then this was probably about 3-4 years ago. The economy was awful. So I can imagine that if it is still that way, I don't know, I have not kept up, but if it's still economic, if there are still economic challenges, that having extra folks around, that just doesn't help.
Yeah, it doesn't help at all. They've rebounded some. The city that I'm renting an apartment. Allison and I rented an apartment. We're here for 5 weeks, so we rent a fully furnished apartment and a rental car. And they were like, "Oh, thank you for coming. Thank you for bringing your money." And then all the restaurants are like, "Come back again. Come back again."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we're at the store buying hundreds of dollars worth of food for the refugees. We buy water, so we're bringing some economic help. But yeah, if there's a restaurant or there doesn't seem to be an industry here, I guess
Loud
that's my
motorcycle.
motorcycle fan there. Right
There you go. And he was fast too. Did you see how fast he wanted to get to that meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah, he couldn't wait to get here. So there's some economy, not a lot. There's some olives. They make a lot of olive oil. They make honeys here. They make they make great Greek salads. So tomatoes and cucumbers are grown here. Yeah, it's like they don't call it. Actually, they do call it a Greek salad. It's kind of funny. What do you call a Greek salad in Greek? In Greek,
A Greek
a
salad.
Greek salad.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they have other ones. They have
Yeah.
the Samos salad and they have the other salads. But yeah, so the economy's not booming. It's better. But again, they went through 2 years of COVID like everybody else did,
Yeah.
and they had no tourists. They usually get one cruise ship a week or something in here. They said they didn't get a cruise ship for 2 years, so nobody brought any money. So they're behind. So it's tough
definitely
all around.
Well, let's talk a little bit on the lighter side. You were talking about food, so I want to know what kind of good food have you and Allison had while you were there so far?
Oh man, believe it or not, my favorite thing to eat is called the euro or gyro or whatever you want to call them. They call them euros here.
It's a gyro.
It's a gyro or a gyro or whatever, but it's a euro. They call it a euro because again, how you pronounce it in Greek. Euros are fantastic. So great. Here's the thing, and it's kind of hard to just explain if you don't travel a lot. Chicken here tastes like real chicken. Doesn't taste like American chicken. So it tastes like chicken. Tomatoes are vine ripened. The guy picked them up this morning from the farmer. There's a guy that drives by on this road behind me every morning with fresh fruits and vegetables, and they just buy them and sell them that day. So, man, the vegetables just pop with flavor. Cucumbers taste different than American cucumbers. So lettuce is different. So everything tastes different. Even the pork tastes different. The beef tastes different. So I haven't had anything yet to eat that has been bad.
Good.
Maybe a little mushy, but nothing bad. I mean, everything's great. So they have great food here.
Now I'm hungry for a euro. Thanks, Gary.
Yeah. Thanks, Gary.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, and I didn't know this, but I ordered my first euro. I ordered here. They said, "You want everything?" And I'm like, "Sure, I want the whole experience." Right? It comes with French fries on the inside. So America's been ripping us off.
Wow.
In Greece, a euro has some pork and some sauce and some lettuce and tomatoes and some French fries. Y'all
French
are getting
fries.
ripped off.
Wow.
You know-
Okay.
You know why they've been ripping us off, don't you?
No.
Well, because we keep calling them euros and not, or gyros.
Yeah,
and not
Gyros
euros.
instead of euros.
Yeah, if they call it a gyro, it's like you don't get any French fries with that.
Yeah.
No French fries for you.
No, I was just thinking that. It's scary how Dan and I think the same. Dr. Gary Layne,
Yeah.
Functional Christianity. How long are you going to be there? You said 5 weeks. What are you, right in the middle? Where are you in the whole scheme of things?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's the 20th, and we leave on the 30th, so we're 10 days. We've got 9 days left. I'm picking up some. Friday. This is awesome. Friday, I'm going to the Isle of Patmos, where John wrote Revelation.
Wow.
So I'm going to go see the cave that John was in. So that's Friday. Thursday, I'm meeting with some people in town. Friday, I'm taking a day trip to Patmos. Saturday, I'm picking up missionaries at the airport. Sunday, I'm teaching twice. Monday I've got meetings with another missionary. Yeah, and then Friday we leave back for the States. We'll be home a week from Saturday.
Wow.
So 9 days left. But
Now,
it's
And
packed.
what's the first thing you'll eat? What's the first thing you'll eat when you come back home?
a
Chick-fil-A?
gyro, a gyro.
A gyro.
Yeah, I'm going to go to a Greek restaurant and see how good it is. No, I don't know. I haven't really thought. I mean, I don't know. Food here is fantastic. I'll probably be disappointed with almost anything I eat.
It'll be a letdown when you come back. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
cheeses are different. The cheeses are
Yeah.
fresh, a lot of fresh goat cheese and dairy farms here. So everything is just fresh and very
Yep.
beautiful tasting, and they blend it well. So you're making me hungry. I got to go to dinner after this.
Eat some for us, yeah.
Hey, when you come
Yeah.
back to the States, we'll get you back on the show. We'll talk more. We got to go in a second. If
Wait,
folks there you go.
He's just showing
Oh, you
off
missed
now.
that guy. He was doing a wheelie going down the street.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
He's
the
probably
wheelie
your
meister.
biggest fan, no doubt. That's your biggest fan right there.
No
So
doubt. No
So
doubt.
if folks want to help in any way, what do they do? If they want to, obviously they need to pray for these folks.
Obviously, prayer is a huge thing. The missionaries here, waymakerinternational.org is my friends, and you can send donations there. They have different causes. I think one of them is functional Christianity that helps with it. But just Waymaker International, send $50. I mean, $50 buys 9 liters of water. Sorry, 6 giant bottles of water is $1.50. So I mean, if you sent $25, I could buy water for a week for 100 refugees.
Wow.
And bus tickets, it's $3 each round trip. So I just met with the bus driver the other night and paid for 40 people. I paid 40 euros to send some people back to camp that had come to town to see me. And it's like, all right, great. So, they're like, hey, how do we get home? And it's like, okay, I'll buy you a bus ticket home. So I met with the bus driver and said, that guy, that family, that guy. And he said, okay, that's 25 people, euro 60. So 40 euros. So I spent 40 euros sending people back to camp. But I had 2 hours with them to share Jesus, and that's worth it to me.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
that's awesome. Well, you be safe.
WaymakerInternational.org.
Okay. Will you be safe, you and Allison? We'll see you when you get back. And thank you for what you're doing. It's you're definitely building the kingdom, and we know that's your heart. So thank you very much. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
This is Faith Talk Live.